What's shaking YouTubeites? Welcome to the CovrPrice Comic Book Weekly Shakers. And this is Lords of the Long Box. Happy Thursday to you all. Happy you guys can join us. I know there's a lot of other entertainment opportunities for you out there. Glad
Yeah,
that
but this
you
is the
guys
most fun one.
That
Right?
is
Come on.
true, man. Come
This
on
list is
now.
crazy.
So if we hit 200 thumbs up, Ryan will keep his shirt on. If we only get 100 thumbs up, then Ryan's going to
Damn,
show
you're gonna
nips
see it
all
all.
day long. He's going to
Oh,
remove
man.
the spine text and go full on
Yikes.
double nipplage on you, man. But while you guys are congregating, you know what we'd like to do. Let's kick it off, man.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out.
Yo, a little bonus because
That
my
was
man
Damn,
JD's in the house. JD
Yeah.
said what's good to the
Nice.
people.
What's happening, everybody? Good to be back this week. I want to say really quick thanks to everybody that's reached out to me during these trying times. I really appreciate you. But tonight's list is fire, and I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah, don't feel bad if you're 0 for 10, man. But I think you got a good chance of getting a like 3 for 10. You know, we try to keep the list.
Sometimes I've seen
Well,
a
I
couple
don't
people
know.
getting
Yeah.
a few. Last week, I think there was a 4 for 10.
Yeah, man, that's why this list is unique. It's not the same top 10 that's regurgitated all over the internets and everywhere
It
else.
changes every day.
Speaking
every
of
day.
regurgitation, Darkside Jedi, say what's up.
Well, hello, and I'm changing every day myself. It's a Thursday evening, and that means one thing: it's an amazing Shakers list. I can't wait to get through this. It's going to be really. I mean, we're not kidding when we say it's a fun list tonight.
Speaking of which, this list is sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice.com. Go to CovrPrice.com for all your price guides, collections, and trends needs. You can sign up for a 2-week free trial. You like what you see, just pay $6.99 for a full-blown membership. You get to see all the shakers that are on the list. I believe there's 50 that change on a daily basis. So, you know, why not? It's only $6.99, and you can do it's a COZ and everything. This list, we basically this shows different the top 10. This is focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive shakers list. So this list changes several times a day, so make sure you check it out every day.
I just added
some of the hottest trending books in the market.
I just added all of my slabs today, and I have 3 diamonds.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. You people who have the CovrPrice app,
you know what that means.
What the 3 diamonds means.
And
I have all of my slabs, and also I've got 85 slabs entered into CovrPrice.
Yeah,
amazing.
At the end of the show, we will go over CovrPrice and see what's shaking today. Speaking of what's shaking, show is sponsored by our good friends at KRSComics.com. Go to KRSPullbox.com. Use the discount code of LOTLB and get 15% off new comics every Wednesday. You can create a pull list if you're not close to an LCS, but you can also use the discount code LOTLB for all the exclusive variants that are dropping. And this is dropping tomorrow. This is a Warren Lewis Wonder Woman Black and Gold dropping tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off. Warren Lewis has changed up his style, and he's going more photorealistic with his covers. Nice. So this is absolutely gorgeous.
Who does that look like? That looks like the chick from that wrestler show, the Women of Wrestling. She was also in Community.
I was going to say, it looks like the chick from Transformers, whose career disappeared.
Whatever happened to her?
Is that Megan Fox? I don't even know anymore. She disappeared.
Bree something. Allison Brie? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, KRS HQ is opening a storefront. Clayton Crane in-store signing, July 16th, 2021. If you can make it down to the greater San Diego area, it's actually in Chula Vista. They're going to have a Clayton Crane in-store signing on July 16th, 2021. My man Darkside Jedi has already booked his trip. Me, Darkside Jedi, Swoverine are going to head down. We're going to go live. So come and holler at us. You still got a couple of months to prepare for it, man. July 16th. There's no San Diego Comic-Con today, but why not come to beautiful...
We're making our own Comic-Con.
Chula Vista. Check out. Bring in anything you want. There'll also be CGC witnesses there. So if you get your Clayton Crane books signed, you can get them slabbed as well. Once again, this is the CovrPrice Weekly Comic Book Shakers. Let's look at what's shaking this week. Start us off, Ryan. What do you got first?
All right. Well, this week we're going to start out with Amazing Spider-Man 194. Amazing Spider-Man came out swinging this week with records in multiple books. This one may have been the biggest shocker, though, with a CGC 9.8 of the first appearance of Black Cat selling for $5,760. This shattered the prior record of $3,600 from just April 4th by $2,160, or 60%. Can you believe it? Black Cat has been a fan favorite for quite some time now, and this black cover is difficult to get in a 9.8. So even though there are 385 9.8s of this book on the CGC census, when they come up for sale, the demand for them never seems to be in short supply. It'll be interesting to see what happens with these books if Black Cat ever makes it to the big screen.
Starting off good. I see a lot of 1-for-1s on there.
Yeah, baby. I have one.
Yeah.
I got this.
Not a 9.8, but I have one.
That number is so small. 385 9.8s. That's it.
And modern Black Cats are really sought after because Black Cat is one of those characters that people love to do like variants of. They can make the sexy Black Cat. Like all the Black Cat variants by like J. Scott Campbell are always up there in price. So,
look at some of the KRS ones.
Yeah, I meant, so it's only a matter of time. There was supposed to be a Black Cat appearance, but, it's only a matter of time. Once Peter Parker gets a little bit older, because I seriously doubt, that you need a Black Cat would be in high school, but, he's approaching his college years. And I think
he can get Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah, and there's been some rumors that we may be getting a Far From Home trailer pretty soon, too. So expect, just like what people did with the Venom 2 trailer. Anytime a trailer drops, people are going to dissect it, and they're going to... Did you remember on our top 10 list how many Venom, Carnage, symbiote-related books were on there? So I'm pretty sure once the Spider-Man Far From Home trailers, we're going to get a better idea of what's going on, and people's lids will explode, if you see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield on it. I'm just saying. All right, Amazing Spider-Man issue 194.
Real quick, just for fun in the chat, Black Cat or Catwoman? Go.
Ooh, that's interesting.
We're talking about the comics version?
We're talking about the comics version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Black Cat. Just saying.
Just saying.
Adam Hughes Catwoman, or a J. Scott Campbell Black Cat.
Oh, yeah. Well, Hughes, well, I mean, there you go. All right. So next up on the list is a book pretty much everybody had in the 80s, but like most people, you guys probably sell it off, but this would be surprised to see how many people still have this. What is it?
All right, next up on the list, we've got Batman issue 428, the newsstand edition, originally published in 1988 from DC Comics. Now, what happens when a direct edition of a popular 1980s Batman comic in CGC 9.8 condition sells repeatedly for about $500 to $600, and a same grade newsstand copy finally hits auction on eBay? Hysteria, my friends. A newsstand copy in CGC 9.8 condition just sold for an all-time high of $1,030 after a 34-bid auction, besting the previous newsstand high of $460 back in 2020 and the book's overall all-time high of $600 from April of this year. Now that's quite a premium for a newsstand, especially considering CGC 9.6 newsstands copies just sold last month for under $200. A 5x 9.6 to 9.8 difference? As of right now, raw newsstands and direct edition copies are going for around the same price. So will this new top-end newsstand sale lead to a price disparity? We'll be watching.
So for you kids don't know, man, back in the day, this was a series that had I think it was a 1-800 number on it, that in the back, you decided if Robin lived or died, and you should never leave that to the public.
I heard a rumor that there was a robocaller that called in a bunch of times, and then in fact, it would have been keep him alive. I don't know. Maybe that's just a lie for people who love Jason Todd, but it sounds like a fun story.
Well, put it this way: if he didn't die, you wouldn't have got Red Hood, right?
Yeah, true. There you go. There you go.
Let's see, 1988. 1986 newsstand was about 50-50. So 1990 it started getting
huge. So it's right in between there. Maybe 70.
So I would think 88 you started seeing more direct stand than newsstand. So there you go, man. I remember they tried to do that again, but it was for the Titan show, remember? But it was like an online thing, and you can't. That's when you really go off the rails, is when you do online polls, because that's when people can like just create bots and just vote over and over again. You know what I mean? So there you go, man. So Batman,
voting, man. Come on.
Number 428, The Death in the Family. I remember when this came out, this was all over the news. Like, this is the first time it was like, the fans can decide either Robin dies or lives. Well, we hated him. So, or you know what? I think people are just nihilists and they just want to see people die. And they were like, I just want to see the world burn.
But they took him out with a crowbar to the face.
Yeah, Joker did, right? Yeah, that was that was pretty violent
very violent
DC and Marvel back in 1988. But there you go, Batman number 428. All right, what's next?
Next we have Darkhawk number 50. Long before newsstands and preview issues were hot, the last issues of low print series have always been significant heat. Last issues like G.I. Joe 155, Static 45, Power Girl 27, Silver Surfer 146, Ghost Rider Volume 2, number 93, etc. all have significant value and are all seeing steady market increases. These are typically series that saw very low print runs by the end of their series, which is why they were canceled. Finding these can be tough, but there are also some of our favorites to look for in the wild. With all that said, in this elevated market, Darkhawk's end of series issues 49 and 50 are scorching hot right now. Darkhawk has been gaining fan momentum based in both in nostalgia for character and sheer wishful thinking to see him appear in the MCU during Phase 4. While there's still no news, issue number 49 is selling for $60 raw, and issue number 50 at a fair market value of $53, with a new high sale of $239 for a CGC 9.8. Pay attention to the last issues of other low print run series and fan favorite characters.
So that may be the new trend, man. People
I think
going
so.
after, because I remember I have like Master Kung Fu, the last issue.
Yeah, that's a
think-
cool cover.
because he's like walking off into
Yeah,
the
he's walking
sunset.
off into the
I think
sunset.
there's a Marvel team up also says it. Like nowadays they don't know when the print run's going to end, so they don't celebrate, saying this is the final issue, or or they just do multiple volumes. But
But like that GI Joe 155 is expensive, man.
Yeah, it is. And the Conan one.
well, the
It's
Nova
real
one,
expensive.
the Nova one is like is almost an homage of issue number 1, the Bronze Age Nova, the Richard Rider Nova. I think that last issue too. Any things in the Bronze Age, they had, for like the Copper and Bronze Age, they let comics run for a while. It wasn't all based just on money. You know what I mean? It was like hey.
But also in the
see how
Copper
far
and
we go.
Bronze Age, there were a lot of 1 to 25, 1 to 30. There
Especially
was
in
a
the
lot of
Bronze
short
Age.
runs.
Yeah. It's almost like
Marvel,
a bunch of
Marvel
characters.
Premiere,
Yeah.
for instance, I think doesn't that just go like 60 issues or 50 issues, something like that?
Yeah.
59.
Yeah, because a lot of times they're just like, let's just see what. And then right around the 80s or 90s, they started doing more like miniseries to see. And if the character took off, they let them run, like Punisher, famously 5-issue miniseries. But then they had a solo series. And next, you had Punisher War Journal, all this other stuff. But Darkhawk, I'm kind of shocked. Darkhawk went on for 50 issues in 1995. To be honest with you.
Man.
And segue to that, Darkhawk is coming out with a new solo series from Marvel pretty soon. He's got a new costume and everything. So you don't know, man. Those old Darkhawk issues may be jumping up. So there you go. Darkhawk issue number 50 from 1995. Here's probably going to be a goose egg for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next up we've got Doom #1. Originally published in 1996 from GT Interactive Software. Now, as we noted previously, we love video game comics, right? Nostalgia and rarity are the core drivers for this niche comic group. However, this is a niche that is rapidly expanding with a supply that can't match that demand. This is all driven by nostalgia for the video game systems we grew up with, whether it's the NES, the N64, the Sega Genesis, etc. This boom in gaming collecting is definitely bleeding into the comics world, as hard to find first appearances are seeing significant sales lately. Take this issue of Doom #1, Knee Deep in the Dead, which sold today raw for a new overall high. Wait a minute, today? No, that's wrong. It says sold today for a new overall high of $700. And this was for the standard cover. If you can recall, this was a poorly received and ignored comic book back in 1996 that slowly gained popularity in the Doom fan community. The even rarer giveaway convention version is practically impossible to find and had a rare sale back in January 2021 of $450 for a CGC 5.5.
Jeez.
Now, to distinguish the two, the most noticeable difference is the issue number. The giveaway version has a slanted italic number, while the standard version is normal.
Okay.
Interesting.
No way anybody's got this book, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and from the gaming world, this wasn't even a console game. Doom came out as a PC game first. People
yeah.
don't realize PC games were all the rage before consoles came out, right? Because Atari went away, and it wasn't before Nintendo came out that everybody was. I remember playing before Doom. It was Wolfenstein 3D, right? First person shooters, and then Doom came out, and then that was when everybody was buying PC rigs and everything, and then the consoles came out, and then kind of took PC gaming. But you know what? PC
And
gaming
then we
still,
got a Carl Urban The Rock
that's right, yeah,
collaboration.
that's right, for Doom.
Yeah.
And I remember the only cool scene was that when they actually showed it from like a first person shooter perspective. Remember that? It was like a really small.
Yeah, there's a comment. Prince Zodiac says that this was the first person shooter game.
No, Wolfenstein 3D was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Wolfenstein 3D was, and then and that was really the first time it was a first person. I mean, nowadays it looks just archaic, but go look at that. There's a video game documentary on Netflix, and they go through the different eras, and they talked about the guys who made Wolfenstein 3D, and then id made Doom, and then I think they made Quake after this. Quake was huge, but Doom was also huge as well. But then Quake took it to the next level with graphics and multiplayer levels and everything, and and I'm trying to remember. I think Quake was the first PC game that allowed you to make custom maps for first-person shooters. So when you played on a LAN with other players, people were like, "What the fuck is a LAN?" Well, look it up, boys and girls. Okay, before the internet, we had LAN. So people would come and show up at each other's houses with their with their computers and monitors, and then all hook up to a LAN. It was crazy. Now you got the internet.
We did that with PlayStation 2. We used to play SOCOM, and we got together, and man, that was so much fun.
Yeah, now
LAN
you just
parties.
Yep, now you just go on your damn internets. But anyway, Doom #1 from GI Interactive Software. That's a rare one, so I'm pretty sure everybody got a goose egg on that one. This one's pretty rare too.
Speaking of goose eggs, Ghostbusters Legion #1. This is the logo cover from 88 Miles Per Hour Studios. Ghostbusters has been one of the biggest fan bases in entertainment, aside from Disney-related franchises, that is, and has one of the most recognizable logos in the world. With the new Afterlife film releasing this fall, there's hope that it will reinvigorate the franchise. And with that said, Ghostbusters comics have seen several iterations over the past 37 years before landing on a steady home at IDW. Despite all the fanfare around the property, the comics have always had incredibly low print runs. Various covers variants are incredibly tough to find, like trying to find the 1 in 10 Rhode Island variant for 2010's Ghostbusters Past, Present, and Future from IDW. We've never seen one sold, ever. In 2004, 88 Miles Per Hour took the Ghostbusters franchise and took it to a more serious, non-canon approach with the comics, where they took the characters from the original film and placed them in modern day 2004. The series only lasted 4 issues. However, it produced some truly rare covers, including this rare retailer incentive, which is the only comic cover to feature just the Ghostbusters logo on its own. It sold a CGC 9.8 this week for a huge $800, busting the last high sale of $211 in February of 2020. There are only 16 copies on the CGC census, with 6 of them as 9.8s, thanks to the tough all-black cover. The other hardcover to find for the series is the white Ghost Trap convention variant. It hasn't sold for too much in the past, $44, but it's quite scarce.
Never heard of it. 88 Mile Per Hour Studios. Never. I do remember, I think it was Marvel who did the more like the animated Ghostbusters comic. Remember there was an animated series of Ghostbusters, and I do believe Marvel had that in the 80s. So who knows? I meant, as we can see every week on this show and on the Tuesday show, anything that gets optioned, it doesn't matter if it was first comic book, people are going to look for that comic book. So I guarantee you, because from what the Ghostbusters trailer so far looks pretty good. The last one was with Paul Rudd when all those little the Stay Puft men came to life. Have you seen that? So they're throwing away that last film, and this time they're doing the kids of the original Ghostbusters. So supposedly Bill Murray is supposed to be in it and some other cats. So, and if that Ghostbusters remake would have came out this year or 2020, it would probably get hot like everything is now. Any movie that's based on anything that had a comic book on it, just go and look for it, because that just seems to be the thing now. Just like, the previous book was based off a video game. People from the video game collecting world are coming into our world. People from the trading card game are coming into our world. The action figure collectors are coming into world. That's why you G.I. Joe books and all this stuff. Any property that's based on anything. So pay attention to like all the stuff that Hasbro's doing with G.I. Joe, Transformers. Prior to that, nobody gave a shit if a Transformers movie came out. But now if you see a first appearance of a G.I. Joe or a Transformer, I guarantee you, if it's in the comics, it'll blow up. I mean, just look at the He-Man, right? When those pictures came out from Kevin Smith, and then supposedly, I mean, remember when Thundercats came out? Nobody gave a shit. But now that Thundercat comics is crazy, and then a lot of it is adults with disposable income. People in their 40s getting nostalgia. They got a few extra bucks to spend and say, "Hey, let me go buy this comic." And we're seeing really expensive things for things you typically wouldn't care about. 10 years ago, dollar bin book, maybe nobody gave a shit about it, but. All right, next up is a chance for you guys to get back some of your honor.
For sure. Everybody's getting back on the list with this one. Next up, we've got The Incredible Hulk, issue 345, originally published in 1988 from Marvel Comics. Well, in addition to newsstands, previews, video game-based, key issues, content-driven, and store variants, you can now add classic covers to this list. Name any classic cover, and you'll have a hard time finding one that hasn't seen big spikes in price. This Todd McFarlane cover is one of them. You could have purchased a 9.8 in this classic cover for about $275 back in 2020. A nickel earlier this year. However, its sale this week of $1,275 via a 28 big auction was simply staggering and shows just how unpredictable this market is right now.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you, man.
Wow.
I don't put my comics typically on eBay and buy it nows. I put at 99 cents, and and right now there's a feverish frenzy of people buying books on eBay. So just list it and let them go at it and see how many bids you get, and you'll see how. And you know what? Just look at the history on see how many bids because if you watch enough things, you're like, my God, I was watching something the other day, and I'm looking at it I typically bid within 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it. It went from $105 to $245 in 30 seconds. And I was like, wow. Oh, man, I thought I was going to sneak in a snatcher for like $125. I was like, good Lord, man. But so all the obviously the one, the Incredible Hulk, what is it? Which one? The one with Wolverine on the cover. That one is one of the most sought after Hulk covers, because it has it has Wolverine and Hulk's, reflection and claws. Yeah. I have a raw dog that I hope can
Someone
push
in the chat can
9.8.
give us that number. Come on. 340. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, John. Long shot 68.
I bought that raw near mint and I couldn't find any flaws in it. So as soon as this whole CGC thing, my feeling is CGC is going to start hiring some people because they're getting a lot of negative fallback right now on their turnaround times, which is really kind of stupid when you think about it because normally this type of season, it's automatically right around this time of year until later on in the summer, the turnaround times always slow down. Because guess what?
I think what they're pissed about is that CGC is having these signings and people who do the signings get preferential treatment. Or at least it seems so. At least that's what I've seen.
I've seen in a while was one today where they're in the boardroom and hey, what can we do? What can we do to get this backlog down? And the other person says, we'll have another private signing. No, come on, man.
It's the private signings aren't as big as you think they are. Todd McFarlane did a private signing and he, from what people told me, he signed 10,000 books. So he's never doing that again. So I don't, people think CGC has 3 graders. They have more graders than that. So it's not a private signing that's causing the backlog, so stop with this stupid bullshit. I see people complaining on Instagram all the time about it. It's the influx of collectors that have already used to knowing what grading is that are using grading. And if they come from PSA or whomever the number one is for grading of video games, action figures, and trading cards, they're not going to go to CBCS or PGX. They're going to ask who should I go to. They're going to say, well, CGC is, the equivalent of PSA or the equivalent of WADA. Is it WADA? Is that the one that does the video games? So it's a combination of both. They're slow right now. There's no conventions because normally right around July, they're swamped because you have to, if you've ever been to a CDC signing at a major Comic-Con, not your little podunk, little con here and there. But if you go to C2E2, New York City Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, WonderCon, MegaCon, any of these cons that CDC has a big booth, there are tons of people to get things submitted. So typically this time of year, but now from what I'm hearing, it's the huge influx of new collectors that are coming in. If there's a reason the prices are going up because the people are getting more stuff graded, and graded comics sell more than raw comics. It's economics, guys. Come on. Really?
As much as we complain about CGC and their crazy lead times, compared to PSA.
PSA just said, hey, stop sending us stuff, right?
We're in a year lead time. Stop sending us stuff.
That tells you that there's videos out there from people from the trading card companies saying, hey man, here's a new thing that we should get into. Let's start grading comic books. There's already videos out there saying it. So if PSA says we are not taking submissions anymore, and then what do you think they're going to do? They're going to like, well, what else can I flip? Because these are all seasoned collectors, maybe not of comic books, but they know what they should get, or key books, and they know 9.8s, 9.6s all sell. That's what they're trying to go for right now, and so you're going to see it. So it is. If you don't think there's an influx of people coming in, it's everything. It's NFTs. It's everything. The fucking videos that people can do.
Even Disney right now, with the popularity of their streaming shows, imagine just take 1% of their new viewership and say 1% goes to comic books. That's like 3,000 new people coming into the and that's a lot for us,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you better hope Fortnite players don't start slabbing those Batman books. That's like 70 million people that play
Well, they wouldn't be able to get the code if they did that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, luckily they spend all day on Fortnite, so they ain't got time for that.
Just
so
wait for the one book to come out you talked about, where all the codes will be in it anyway.
Yeah, wait for September and you get all the codes, and you get the you can get the Batman super armors. So there you go, man.
There you go.
The trade is coming out in September for the Batman Fortnite. Incredible Hulk, 345, 1988. Here's another goose egg for everybody.
Yeah, and our second video game book of the night, Legend of Zelda #1. This is an Acclaim Valiant collaboration. This first issue of The Legend of Zelda features the first appearance of Zelda and the first comic book appearance of Link. Link first appeared in Nintendo Power #5 in March or April of 1989 via Howard and Nestor ongoing comic strip that ran through multiple issues through issue number 48. Despite high collectability for Nintendo Power, collectors like to focus on his first comic appearance, and like everything else, has seen a surge in price lately. This issue has 3 covers: the standard $1.50 issue, where the barcode is on the left side, the $1.95 newsstand, where the barcode is on the right side, and the hard to find no price issue. The barcode is on the right side. Don't worry, all seem to be pretty close in price. However, the no price is the hands down hardest to find. The direct edition had a new high sale of $518 for a CGC 9.8. The $1.95 newsstand also had a big sale of $517 for a 9.6. However, these don't come close to the huge 9.8 sale this newsstand had in April for $1,675.
My God, yeah, how much did you say again?
Wow, $1,675. That's insane.
That's insane.
1991. Yeah, man. Newsstand was pretty rare in 1991, and factor in who the hell was buying this off the newsstand in 1991.
Right? Someone who loved
Valiant. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I can tell you in 1991 right now, nobody was collecting. I was heavy. I was a heavy collector in 1991, driving around all comic shops everywhere. Nobody was buying Legend of Zelda. Nobody cared. Although people loved the Nintendo game. Homies of mine just stay up all damn night playing that game. But like I said, this is people from the video game world coming into our world, and and driving up these prices. So we used to, I guarantee you, a few years, maybe as soon as 2 or 3 years ago, this was a $1 bin book. I would say probably the last 2-3 years is I would say definitely last year, but maybe prior to 2 years ago, when the video game grading really started getting hot, which was crazy, right? When you think about it,
crazy.
Yeah, but when people are like, well, why would you grade a game? You can't play it. It's like same thing people said about comics. Why would you grade a comic book? You can't read it. You know what I mean? So, but the thing about video games is, it's not just the game; it's the actual case. That's what has to be pristine, right? I mean,
the box.
And back in the day, nobody cared about the fucking box. People just threw it away. People nowadays, shit, man. You go to my house, everything is still in a box. I don't throw away any boxes. Like all my action figures is like they're still in the boxes. I'm like, I don't know where I'd put them. I mean, it's amazing. If you think these are expensive, look at video games. That's really. I mean, when you think about comic books are pretty pricey. Not in the world of video games. When you think like the first original like Mario Brothers is the price that fetched, and then there's a rare version of it that came out before the console. That's the one to get. That is like the holy grail of video games. I think there's like a gold edition of Zelda, which is also, I mean, I'm not no expert on the video games, but just from if you follow Comic Dunes on Instagram, he posts a ton of cool video games, and he knows what he's talking about. Not like some other people who just wear too much eye makeup. But anyway, Legend of Zelda #1 from
what are you
Acclaim
talking about?
Damn you, man! Everything sounds like a question. I don't know. Golden Age has the best stories, I think.
Oh my God.
All right, so Legend of Zelda #1. What do we got up next? Ooh, Little Golden Age.
Oh yeah, this one's sweet. All right, ready?
Bondage.
Manhunt issue #6, originally published in 1948 from Magazine Enterprises. Now things may not be looking very good for the woman on the cover, but the seller of this book had a great day because this CGC 7.5 bondage cover from 1948 by Ogden Whitney with LB Cole interior art sold for a record price of $3,120. Now, this sale easily beat out the prior record for a 7.5 of $320 from 2012, and also crushed the overall record for this book, which was $1,298 for a CGC 7.0 back in February of this year. Now, there are only 13 universal graded copies of this comic on the CGC census. So it's a rare book we don't see come up for sale very often. And someone decided this was their chance to grab a copy.
That's a cool book. I like it.
That's cool.
This is pre-Comics Code. So
Who's the Northwest Mounted? Is that Canadian? Mounted?
Yeah, the Mounties. No, the Mounties are from Canada.
Well, because at the top, the FBI, Scotland Yard, Northwest Mounted, Secret Service.
Oh, Mounted. Yeah. So, I mean, this is definitely pre-code. That's why, they can get away with bondage covers and things of that nature. But if you think about it, it's pretty risque for 1948, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to, I mean, if you think about all the comics
Dick
that just
Tracy
had
is about to murder some woman.
Right? That is look like Dick Tracy, right? Dick Tracy has gone bad. There was a question I will find out for you about the Clayton Crane signing, if there's charge. I don't believe so, but I will find out. I'll know for sure by next Tuesday's show. I just asked Chris right now for the Clayton Crane signing that's coming up at KRS HQ. Typically, when Chris has artists that for his signings, he kind of does everything in advance, so there's no charge to you, I believe. So, but I'll find out. I'll find out for sure and get that over to you. So, I sent him a message. So
I'll be at the door collecting $20 from everybody.
If the next 20 minutes he doesn't come through, I'll tell you guys. All right,
just hand the 20 to me.
Manhunt #6 from Magazine Enterprises, from 1948. Go figure, man.
Yeah.
And it's a 7.5, which is pretty high grade for a book that's
all black.
And from 1948, that's like.
And from 1948.
What is that, like 50
Double
years?
whammy.
I don't know. I'm bad at math, man. It's over
50 years? Yeah, it's way over
60,
50 years.
70, 80. Could be 1,000 years. I don't know. All right, what's next?
Here we have Stranger's Tale #3.
It's another goose egg.
Another goose egg, right? So there are several comic books out there that many question if they even exist. This is one of those. For years, it was thought that this 3-issue series was canceled at issue #2, with the last issue never released. However, scarce copies had appeared and sold for crazy high numbers. This is easily considered the rarest Adam Hughes comic out there, as we've only seen one sale in 4 years. And that one sale was this week when a buyer snatched a raw copy up for, get this, $1,500.
Good. Googly moogly. Wait a second.
Hold on.
Wait a
Come
You know
on.
what that
It
deserves.
deserves
right?
it. It deserves it.
Yeah.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
You may continue.
A raw copy for $14.99.99. A raw copy, you people. Can you understand what I'm talking about?
As soon as I saw it, I go, the easiest way to tell Adam Hughes is he draws a dark outline on all of his characters. If you see the chick on the cover there, he does a solid outline. Frank Cho, I think, started doing that as well. Some other characters, and it's a newer style. If you notice old comic book covers, they don't really have a black outline on it, and that's why fight me on this. Adam Hughes' internal work is awful because he can't get away with doing bold outlines like that on internal art. But I wonder if my Penthouse comics will be worth some money.
This is a book. Be honest. If you were going through the dollar bins and you came across this, would you grab it or would you have passed it by?
I didn't even know that there was no number 3. I mean, this is crazy knowledge.
Just like people who are hardcore Todd McFarlane fans know that his first work is in Coyote, right? That comic, right? So there's people that are fans of certain artists that know what their first work was. And so this is, I don't think Stranger's Tale is not Stranger Tales, it's Stranger's Tale for those on listening on podcasts. So 1997, I have an Adam Hughes cover from a Penthouse comic that I will show on Instagram tomorrow.
I mean, it could be. Hey, you never know, man. These days.
By the way, go look at Penthouse Magazine comics. There are a ton of well-known, established, professional artists that started on there when they were relatively unknown. You'd be amazed that some of them that drew for a porno comic, basically what it was, but for Penthouse Comics. But yeah, I have one. I have a whole box of them. Big To Do gave me a big box of porn when I left WonderCon.
Nobody wants your box of porn, Andy.
Yeah, he said, just give me this money and take it. I said, God damn it. I go, all right, fine. I'll take your big box of porn and Big To Do. So, and then I was going through it. I was like, wow, Adam Hughes is on this cover. I have about 30, 40 issues. Maybe I'll do a video one day. Hopefully it doesn't get red flagged because it's pretty risque content.
Blur it out.
Yeah. All right. So Stranger's Tale, number 3. I already got it. Strangers, not Strangers. Stranger's Tale? I don't know. No. Number 3. All right. Next up is maybe you guys got a good chance at getting this. And then again, maybe not.
All right, well, this is the last one on the list. So before we get to it, I want to shout out the chat. Man, what an amazing live chat. Once again, that's what makes this show so special. Shout out to everybody who's joining us live. If you are enjoying the content that we are providing, go ahead and give us that thumbs up. And if you don't like it, you can hit the thumbs down. Just hit it twice really quick. All right, now, next up, we've got Venom number 2, The Incentive, the Trad Moore 1 in 25, originally published in 2016 from Marvel Comics. Now, Trad Moore has a very distinctive style that really allowed his version of the all-new Ghost Rider number 1 in 50 to stand out. Now, his 1 in 25 for this Venom variant is no different. And as you all know, having a Venom cover stand out in the massive sea of Venom covers is pretty notable. It has this aesthetic to it that both feels familiar to the Venom 90s style and also has an animated feel to it. It almost feels like a homage to Venom Lethal Protector 2. Now, or even a continuation of the original. And even though it's only a 1 in 25, this book is super hard to find. So much so that a raw copy sold for $250 this week. And now I want one.
I mean, these raw prices, I don't know if you guys, those of you who have the CovrPrice app, or I'm sorry, the CovrPrice, a CovrPrice account, actually checked this week the Shakers. It changes every day. I saw more raw sales on the Shakers list this week than I've ever seen. Are raw books really going that crazy?
Well, a 1 in 25. So in the past, ratio variants, as time goes by, they would get cheaper. But that is totally changed now because I think people are realizing, especially if it's not a first issue or first appearance. Venom number 2 was a rando issue. Excuse me if there's a first appearance in there, but I traditionally don't know of Venom number 2 as being.
So is it a case then of just these books aren't available graded?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just 1 in 25. So how many, stores were buying more than 50 copies of Venom number 2 back in 2016. Right. So there would be 2 copies per store if they were 1 in 25. Who was ordering 100 of these? They would have 4 1 in 25s. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you're thinking 2016 now, right? And you're not thinking, I don't even know who did this. Who did this run? Who is the?
I want to say Image Comics. Shout out. He invoked the name Donny Cates. Shout out to Donny Cates.
This is the Donny Cates run, isn't it?
No, this isn't. This is not the Donny Cates run. Not from
no, but
Oh,
He's
it's
just
not,
saying
no.
thumbs down gets a Donny
Shout
Cates
out to
shout
Donny
out.
Thumbs
Cates.
down gets
So
to Donny
if you
Cates.
invoke Johnny Cates' name, you get the shout out. Yeah, man. So that's the list.
It was
So
a good
Venom,
list this week, man.
It's a good
Yeah,
list.
Venom,
Good
Cool
list.
books.
Venom number 2, man. Let's pull up and see what's shaking today.
Let's
I
see,
had a
because
book on
this
the
list
Shakers
is
list this
changing
week.
every
Yeah,
single day.
Yeah, Ryan, your book was
It was on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah,
It's not on anymore. I know.
Yeah, because this list changes every
It's
day.
every day. It's a daily deal.
I have a full blown collection, so that's why I see everything.
Full
so you
blown.
see all the movers. There's 50 of them, but we're gonna look at the daily shakers. So, look
Oh
at
my goodness! Look at that top row.
I don't mean to show off, but it's kind of like I got. I'm only missing this, and I had this Punisher 129 too, but I had to remove it. So,
Oh my God! Is that 10K?
Yeah, we'll take a look at it right now.
Holy moly!
Now I'm starting to regret that I traded it, but
Wow.
I traded it for something that I wanted. I traded for Strange Tales 110 and a 5.5. Good googly moogly. I had an 8.5, but 10 G's for a god damn. Well, if you look at 3 weeks ago, a 9.8 sold for 33 grand.
Damn it.
God damn, I should have held on to that. I'm telling you, it's called the Feige effect. It could be on Disney, but as soon as Marvel gets a hold of it and Kevin Feige gets a hold of it, I won't show off with my master of kung fu's. You know what I'm saying? You already see.
Too late.
3 of them. Good Lord!
I have a 9.8, 9.6, and a 9.2 or 9.4,
Now
and
you
they're
can show.
all.
Hey, what's up with that
Thor-
Thor? What's up with the Thor Journey into Mystery?
First
second
appearance of
round?
Hercules. That's why.
Oh, here we go.
Journey
Here
into
we
Mystery
go.
Annual. First appearance of Hercules, Zeus, and we know that Zeus is
Mikey
coming.
dropped something on this, right?
Well, we did actually a year and a half ago. We said Hercules and Zeus. We had Hercules and Zeus on a long-term spec list, but recently it was the what's his name? The Australian actor. What's his name?
Kurt Russell.
No, man, Australian, not Kurt Russell.
Not
Australian.
Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. I was like, Kurt Russell.
Sorry.
Come on, man.
I was in the same fucking vicinity, okay?
You're talking about one from Jack Burton, man. Yeah, Russell Crowe came out and said he's playing Zeus. So people are saying, hey, if Zeus is coming, then Thor's got to be coming. So greatest 7.5.
7.5, guys. I mean, that's doable. I mean, that's
9.6
an old
for
book, and that's a
8,500.
square bound, isn't it?
This
That's
is a tough nut to crack in high
good
grade
luck to
because
get that to 7.5.
Yeah, it's a square bound book. So yeah, good luck with that.
Wiz Comics number 2, the first Shazam, baby.
That's the
I like
first
that
Shazam?
one. I think so.
First appearance of Captain Marvel, later renamed Shazam. 1.8 for $3,300.
Beautiful.
Good Lord. That's, oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
The highest known value was from December 7th, 2012. How much do you think they can get for it now?
I bought my first house for less.
I
than
would
that.
say
Come on,
probably
man. Oh my God.
9.0 for $281,000. And just let me show you how
they'll get $1 million. It can get $1 million for it probably.
This book came from Fawcett in 1940, and it was a 9.0 for 200. It's easily.
I'm gonna say with
double.
Shazam out now and Black Adam coming, $1 million easy.
Wow.
Well, let's look. I mean, there's not many that go up for sale. I meant, shit. Here's
there's
Yeah, but that was back in 2012. That's like
that's why. Let's look at this.
almost 10 years ago.
Wow. This
Wow.
a 5.5 sold in
Last year.
2020 for
last year.
4,700.
almost
That
a year
just
ago
shows.
today.
Yeah, but that just shows how huge discrepancy is for on grades. You know what I mean? From, you got to be careful, grading, especially modern, man. They get a 9, sometimes on a modern, a 9.6 to a 9.8,
it's a
down
death
from
sentence.
is like a kill of death on a modern book. It's not even worth grading. Might as well keep it raw. This book has been getting some movement lately because of the upcoming Netflix show. I think it is. Yeah.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, 1,900 for a 9.8 seems rather cheap to me because I think anything that's coming to a show, animated series, whatever, nobody cares anymore. So May 19th, somebody paid 1,900. Highest known value was only
They got a deal though. They
saved like $100.
Thrifty.
There you go. You already ahead of the game, man.
Yep. I like that right there you just had at the 38 Spider-Man. 31, sorry, Spider-Man 31.
Yeah, I got a really low rate of this
First
one.
appearance of Gwen Stacy and Harry's Osborn. $2,000 for 8.5. 9.6. Wow.
I never see high grade copies of this book though.
From
They're always big to
1965.
hell.
I'll send you a picture.
You got one, you weasel.
I don't know. It's not graded, but it's pretty
Yeah.
nice. It's pretty nice.
Send me the
Poison
picture.
Ivy. So recently there's been some poison ivy rumors. That's why I wanted to take a look at this.
We need,
Natalie
you know what?
Dormer was somebody spread a false rumor that Natalie Dormer was going to be playing Poison Ivy because Margot Robbie said something like, "Hey, if we ever do, if we ever do a Birds of Prey or a Harley Quinn sequel, we want to have Poison Ivy in there." And somebody did a mock-up of fan art as Natalie Dormer as Poison Ivy. But there you go, a 5.0 so for 1,200.
Wow.
A 9.8 for 90 grand. Damn, 2020.
Wow.
That was not too long ago, from 1966. That's a hard book to find in high grade as well.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that Department of
Why
Truth.
is 95 going off right now? I know 94 is the book for X-Men. What's up with 95 being all hot? Just because it's high grade?
Yeah. Let's see.
Because that's a big number for. I mean, there's no major. That's
it's
not a
not
minor
bad.
key.
27.50 for. I mean, because all these early X-Men books are starting to creep up in price. So it looks like a 9.6 sold yesterday for 1,100. I remember there was some early spec because of what's her name, the Moira McTaggart or somebody, one of those characters.
Moira.
Hey, go back real quick. Is that Department of Truth cover an homage or a copy of Something That's Killing the Children cover?
No,
Because that looks very similar. So
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's an homage to Something That's Killing the Children.
Raw comic for $600. It's not only Department of Truth and Something Killing the Children. This is just crazy. This is the Werther Deladera 1 in 100 variant.
100.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I opened this up and I couldn't get past the artwork, and I can't read it like that. I'm sorry. I'm snobby like that. But here's the
story's fantastic, man. The story is
Pichimoko variants
fantastic.
on here. That looks gnarly.
It's probably my favorite read right now.
Here's that foil one. I was
Holy shit,
looking
are
at
these all the first issues?
Yeah, there's a ton of. This is like the trippy foil cover that they have.
Prism.
$445 for a raw
Prism.
copy.
Wow.
Yeah, they had a ton of variants that came out for this. Just look at all of them. These are all just for number one.
Jeez.
And the subsequent reprints as well,
It's
obviously.
almost as many as Star Wars.
Yeah.
First issue.
Nowadays, smaller publishers, well, I guess Image, I can't really call them a small publisher anymore when they're doing these giant print runs, right?
Ooh, I have that Century book.
Ooh.
I don't think it's a 9.8 though. But I don't know.
Is Century
The
number one, the
Rosen
Rosen homage.
Homage. What am I
Yeah,
doing? Homage.
very golden age look
Homage.
to it. It's not homage, it's homage. First appearance of the
I know,
century.
you correct me every time.
1140. There you go. I have this one.
That's the Comic-Con one, CGC or
Son of a
San Diego
bitch.
Comic-Con one, right?
Yeah,
what's
why
that?
isn't this in my collection?
What? No, it says you own one already. It says
Oh,
you
good.
own one.
I was gonna say, why isn't it in there? All right,
That's there. You own one.
Yeah, I own a 9.8.
Good lord.
It says fair market value is 5.
Go right up. Scroll up a little bit. That was really cool. Right when you went to that other page.
Yeah. By the way, this is.
See
I don't
where
know
it
if you
said right
started.
there. Boom.
Steve, I don't know if you started doing this, but they added where you can add if it's got a signature on it and it puts a yellow bar across it. Really cool.
Yeah, I don't really, because it's hard to place a value on a signature. You
I
know
don't
what
think
mean?
it values
It doesn't
signatures.
change the value.
It just
at
tells
all.
you
It's
it's
just,
Oh, yeah.
It's just so when you're scrolling through, you see that there's a yellow bar, so it looks like a gold.
Here you go, Ryan. Look at this.
Okay, yeah.
Remember when death metal was all the rage?
I don't have this, but
First appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. $80 for a raw copy.
Not bad.
Wow, how the mighty have fallen. My
How
God.
they have fallen. But let's see some of that Warlock spec coming, man. After him showing up on that poster. You just passed stream. That's
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
This is the first appearance of Gamora. I could already tell by the cover. Yep, first appearance of Gamora. Unnamed. Strange Tales number 180, 9.6 for $7.95. This is criminally undervalued, I think. $14.40 for 9.8. Not bad at all. This 4-issue run has got some great stories in it. Starting back here, we go here, and one more. It started at 178. That started the Warlock run on Strange Tales. This is another great issue to have. There's not and then one of them is the first appearance of Pip. I do believe this one, which is the second one. And I believe it only ran for 4 issues on Strange Tales, because Strange Tales is another one of those like Marvel Premiere books, where you can, and then look at that, right into 182, went back to Doctor Strange.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go, man. It's just
Cool.
cool
Let's test it.
anthology.
We'll test it out here. Throw it over in Strange Tales. Give it a 4-book run. See if people dig it.
All right, let me click back. I probably should have just used the other way of doing it. Okay, no, the Toxic Avenger. Look at that.
What?
There's a lot of Batman books on here.
Yeah,
World's
there
Finest.
Some
Look
DC
at that
on the
goofy
list
cover.
for me.
This is kind of cool, man. This is the 100th issue of Batman where it actually shows the previous covers.
That
See
is
that?
kind of cool.
That's kind of like an homage to itself. That's really cool, man. So this is Batman number 100. Imagine 1956. There was already 100 issues of Batman.
God.
$6.95 for 4.0, 9.4 for 9,500. Man, and this is one of those things where I say, people who collect anniversary issues like I do, right? You get, you just collect anniversary issues, not necessarily because they're first appearances or anything, but just because they're cool, because they're anniversary issues. Mr. Miracle. Look at this. We were just talking about this on the Cover Price Top 10 video games. Captain N, the Game Master. I do believe this was on our list before. First comic appearances of Captain N, Princess Lana, Duke the Dog, Samus Aran of Metroid, Pit Kid Icarus, Donkey Kong. Wow, first appearance of Donkey Kong. There you go. Somebody was talking in the live chat earlier today. They were joking like the first appearance of Donkey Kong is next. Well, yeah, look, a 9.8 for 532
yesterday.
Wow. Mother Brain, King Hippo, Little Mac. Oh, Little Mac a Punch Out. Uranus. I just wanted to say that. Eggplant Wizard. Oh my God. The NES Zapper and the Super Power Pad. There you go, man. So, if you have that on your 2021 checklist, you are heading in the right direction, my friend. Yeah. Here we go, man. A cool Iron Fist on here. Here's
I have that.
More and more video game books are showing up, man. God of War. This is a dope cover. And this is back when Wildstorm was before the first God of War in comics. The 9.8 for 450. That was 2 days. That was yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yesterday.
I mean, the game is pretty damn cool, man. If they ever do make was there talks about there being a live action
bin books, bro? Bin
this
books.
looks. Don't you still have this wrong?
I do. Unfortunately, it's got a half-page advertisement ripped out. Someone wanted to order some damn
toy.
It was like binders or some shit. I don't even know.
Raw comics sold for $425.
But it would get a green label, but it's probably in the 9s.
Is that Steranko that did the cover?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really cool Hulk cover. And so supposedly it's got a fan drawn Wolverine, so they call it the prototype, the Wolverine prototype or something.
Yeah. Do you think there's still room here? Anybody? Do you think that this is still gonna hit? That when the movie comes out, everyone's gonna be so crazy for Eternals that these are gonna just blow again?
Yeah, because it just blew up again when you just saw the trailer. I mean, 178 for a raw copy, I'd pay that. 3,800 for a 9.8. I don't know. This is one of those books you want to find raw and engrade yourself. Right. I got a couple of 9.6s myself. So is it right here? I have 2 of them. So I bought these way back when. I think I bought them I bought them slab for $200 each, and they were 9.6s. So now it's kind of crazy now. Like, I don't know if I would pay top dollar for that kind of stuff. Like nowadays, if I would probably better off on an older book, find it raw and then get it slabbed as opposed to buying slab. Like moderns, probably better off buying 9/8 all day long as opposed to all that other stuff. But there you go, man. So right up on an hour.
Good stuff.
So I hope you guys enjoyed your trip through CovrPrice.com. Sign up for a 2-week free trial. I'm still trying to find out the Crane signing. Tomorrow, this book drops on KRSComics.com.
Beautiful.
It's the Wonder Woman Black and Gold. This is the Warren Liu variant.
You can get a discount on that too, right?
Yep. Use a discount code of LOTLB. You can get a 15% off that book or this book that dropped on Wednesday. This is the first appearance of Nightgwen.
What the hell is that?
It's a cross between Gwen Stacy and Nighthawk.
What the hell is this, dude?
This is part of that whole Heroes.
This is what happens when you take a month off. Holy moly!
Nah, this is obviously she's got the Nighthawk costume on, and it's Gwen. So just like Gwenage, Gwenpool. I mean, come on, they do this all the time, and I do believe this is part of. And you correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat. Part of the new Heroes. I think it's called Heroes Reborn or something like that. It's like a new thing of like a side parallel story in Marvel where they look at Heroes Reborn, and there's like mashups of different color characters that I've saw. So you never know.
No Avengers,
They're missing
right?
a
Is that
real.
what it is? There's no Avengers. Is that what the storyline is? What happens? There was never any Avengers.
Something like that. I haven't been to my LCS in 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, I missed
a
the new Shang-Chi series that came out. It's called Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. And I missed it. So I called my man, the big dude. I said, damn it, I missed out. I wasn't able to make it in the LCS. He goes, I already pulled every cover for you. I said, nice. My man's solid, the big to do. So I'm going to have the 1 in 50, the 1 in 75, the 1 in, I don't know. He just pulled all the covers. He knows anything Doctor Strange, anything Shang-Chi. There's certain things that he knows, any Star Wars and any Strange Academy, anything like that, he will automatically put on my pull list. It's always good to have a good relationship. If your LCS owner doesn't know you by your first name, you ain't doing it right. You know what I'm saying? You got to be known so you can make make those friendships that when those 1 in 50s come, he thinks of you and he puts it aside for you. So there you go. Words of wisdom to part on. JB, any last words?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I look forward to the next show. I'm not making any content right now. We're taking care of some things at home. Thanks to everybody that's reached out to me. I really do appreciate all the warm wishes and the prayers. Much appreciated. But man, what a great list this week. And I look forward to next week because this is one of the things I look forward to most, guys.
Thursday nights, baby. Yeah,
this is something I absolutely enjoy doing. So thanks for having me.
Any last words, Darkside Jedi?
Well, I want to put this out there. If Marvel is still thinking of new Gwen mashups, here you go. You can have this one for free. X-Gwen. There you go.
What would that be a matchup of? Gwen and who?
The X-Men. X-Gwen. The X-Gwen.
Which one?
Well, I know,
I don't know. Just in general. I don't know.
a-
X-Gwen.
How about
It's a play on words. God damn it. Good night, everybody.
Gwenverine? Like Wolverine and Gwen? I don't know. Anyway, make sure you hit up KRS Comics tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. This baby's going to sell out quickly, so make sure you add it to your shopping cart. Until next time, boys and girls, we will see you Sunday for Letters from the Long Box with Mikey Sutton. And then until then, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here! We're back! Word up! Get to what y'all! You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.